Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tahara Alexander, and I am the Empowerment Program Director at Families Helping Families of Greater Baton Rouge, and I would like to thank you for joining us. Families Helping Families is a family-oriented nonprofit resource center for individuals with disabilities and their families. Our mission is to provide the individualized services, information, and support that is required to positively enhance the independence, productivity, and integration of individuals with disabilities into the community. Our programs include the Bureau of Family Health, Early Steps, the Empowerment Program, Inclusive Education, Autism Spectrum Disorder Program, and through the Louisiana Developmental Disability Council, LACAN, which is an advocacy network. Across all of our service areas, we provide referrals, information, education, training, and family-to-family and or peer-to-peer support. Our empowerment program provides families in Louisiana with mental health education, behavioral health education, skills and resources to increase and strengthen their ability to function successfully. We provide in-person workshops, webinars, parent, caregiver, and professional monthly support group virtual conference as well. We also have travel stipends as an offer of financial support to families to attend workshops and conferences. The stipend covers transportation, hotels, and meals. During today's training, we will discuss stress management, which is presented by Dr. Rosalynn Thyssen of Traeh Have a Heart Foundation. Dr. Rosalynn Thyssen is a mother of 5 amazing children and the founder and executive director of the Traeh Thyssen Have a Heart Foundation, which she started after her 13-year-old son, Traeh, died by suicide because of bullying. She is a registered nurse and teaches in the nursing program at Southern University College of Nursing and Allied Health in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. She is a member of the American Nurses Association, the Louisiana State Nurses Association, Baton Rouge District Nurses Association, and the Tau Pi chapter of the Sigma Theta Tau International Nurses Honor Society. Dr. Thyssen partners with the National Alliance of Mental Illness, also known as NAMI, the Southern University Counseling Center, Black People Die by Suicide 2 Foundation, and various other local and national organizations to bring awareness and prevention to both bullying and youth suicide. Please be advised that this presentation will be muted to all participants who are joining us by webinar. However, there will be time for questions and answers at the end, and all attendees will have control of the mic. Again, we appreciate you and for joining us. And now I'd like to turn it over to our today's presenter, which is Dr. Thyssen. And let's welcome Dr. Rosalynn Thyssen.
Thank you so much. Kind of like we do with the holidays, I kind of got ahead of myself. Just talking about stress management during the holidays. Again, it seems like as soon as summer is over, we are preparing for the holidays. Again, we have smells of pumpkin spice. We look forward to smells of cinnamon, those Hallmark movies. We look forward to Christmas decorations. And although we have those good feelings, those cheery feelings, we also have some uninvited, unwanted feelings. Sometimes it could be stress, anxiety, and it could be so much at times that by January, we're tired and exhausted, and sometimes we're just a little weary. We consider that the holiday blues, or it can lead to the holiday blues. So again, the holidays are filling the air with happiness and cheer, but they also carry with it stress and sadness for many people. So we have this phenomenon in which we both eagerly cherish the holiday season, but we also feel a sense of apprehension when it's approaching. So let's talk about the general mental and emotional uneasiness that tends to run rampant during the holiday season. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, pose a few questions. I just kind of want you to think about, have you ever thought about statements like the following? It's the holidays. I should be happy. Why am I not happy? I'm too stressed to enjoy the holidays. I wish things were like they used to be. I wish my life was like his or hers. If this is you, I just want you to know that you are not alone in those feelings. So, oftentimes, the busiest time for new and returning clients at counseling centers is the month of January. And that's because many people tend to put things off until after the holidays, including the management of their mental and emotional health. And then sometimes the holidays can exacerbate or bring back or bring forth mental unrest. We think that being surrounded by family and friends and watching the interaction between others, it kind of highlights what's changed in a person's life as well, or what hasn't changed, which can lead to a swirl of feelings and emotions. Many people who struggle during the holidays, they may not have a diagnosed mental or emotional health condition or disorder, but sometimes that feeling of anxiety, apprehension, even sadness, those people who feel that during the holidays, if it gets bad enough, they can benefit from professional help or even just a reassessment of priorities and general lifestyle changes. So, according to the National Mental Health Association, as many as 4 out of 10 people will experience mild depression during and after the coming holidays. Also, the American Psychological Association reports that nearly 9 in 10, which is 89% of Americans, are experiencing stress or feeling overwhelmed during the holiday season. So it's a very common feeling. So some signs and symptoms that you may experience, leading to the holiday blues are feeling of stress. And that stress can stem from a lot of different things. The anticipation of gathering with family who you may not have the best relationship with, financial stress, irritability, sadness. Maybe you lost a loved one, you're moving into your first holiday without them, or just other holidays without them, fatigue. Many people are working extra during the holiday season because they want to provide a certain look or give certain presents. Sleep disturbances, increased eating and drinking. And that can be because of coping mechanisms or because of the holiday get togethers where we feel pressured to drink socially or increase our eating. Boredom, we see that a lot in people who are in school, maybe college students who are out for the holidays and they're not with that network of friends and now they're at home. Lack of motivation, difficulty concentrating on school and work. Those are some signs and symptoms that you want to pay attention to because that may be leading you to, again, what we call the holiday blues. So, again, what are some of those contributing factors? Current events, things that are going around in your surroundings, the community, personal grief. A lot of people experience heightened amounts of grief during the holidays, just remembering what it was like in previous holidays with those that we loved, and then anticipating the next holiday without them. Loneliness. Maybe someone has gone through a divorce or they don't have as many or as big of a social network that they would like to have. And sometimes the holidays kind of enhance that feeling of loneliness, especially when watching Hallmark movies or getting on social media. Illnesses of any kind, economic concerns. Maybe you're already having some economic issues with just handling day to day tasks. And now, on top of that, that feeling of obligation to provide a certain present or a certain environment for those holidays. Separation from family. We have a lot of people who may have loved ones out of town or overseas. It may be your first holiday without them. It may be several holidays that you haven't spent with them. But that separation from family can cause some of that stress, some of that depression, some of that just feeling of that, again, holiday blues, relationship issues. And again, Memories of past holidays. So, although holidays again come with a lot of cheer, a lot of warm feelings, again, we know that sometimes it comes with stress, anxiety, sadness. Okay, so I want to provide you with some tips for managing the holiday blues. The first one is, don't worry about how things should be. So there is a lot of cultural pressure during the holidays. We tend to compare ourselves with these um, idealized notions of perfect families, perfect holidays. Remember, nothing is perfect. Not even what we see on social media or on TV or their Hallmark channel. Nothing is perfect. Give yourself grace. Level your expectations, and remember, life is not a Hallmark movie. Take time for yourself, but don't isolate yourself. Remember, you need rest. You are someone of value, someone of importance, and take some time to spend to yourself. Get some rest, get to know yourself, but don't isolate yourself. Still spend time with supportive, caring people, especially if you're feeling a sense of loneliness or a sense of grief or a sense of separation. Get enough sleep and rest. And I know that seems very simple, but sleep and rest is what helps to prepare us for the next moment. So, sleep and rest whenever you can is very important in managing any amount of stress and anxiety. Give it some thought. And when I say give it some thought, think about, do you really have to do everything on your holiday list? Ask yourself, why am I doing things that make myself miserable? A lot of times we feel obligated to do certain things because we see it on TV, or we want to have a certain look, or we want people to feel a certain way about us. So, what I'm going to encourage you to do is think about the reasons. Write a list of reasons why you engage in holiday traditions, and then a list of reasons why you shouldn't. Just making a simple pro and con will remind you that you do have a choice and you're not obligated to do anything. Sometimes those obligations or those perceived obligations bring on a lot of apprehension and stress, which can also lead to feelings of uneasiness, feelings of being inadequate, feelings of depression. Eat and drink in moderation. Okay. What I want to encourage you to is, if you are feeling down, if you're feeling sad or depressed, please don't drink alcohol. We know alcohol is a CNS depressant, which means it slows everything down. It can pull your mood down. Okay. So if you're already feeling down, don't drink. Drink in moderation. Use that time to engage with others or journal or just making that list that we talked about in the previous slide. Get physically active. And a lot of times when people say get physically active or they're thinking about it, they think you have to have a whole exercise routine, and you don't. It even means just taking a short walk. Taking a short walk gets you outside in the sun. It gets you breathing fresh air. It gives you time to meditate, to think, and just to kind of help process your thoughts and feelings. So get physically active, taking that short walk. Spend some time in the sun. We know that sunlight, vitamin D, is very beneficial to not only our physical health, but our mental and emotional health as well. We always talk about focus on the light, the light. Well, sunlight is the most natural light that we can have. Has so many benefits to us, again, physically, mentally, emotionally. Okay? Just a simple walk in the sunlight can help to increase our mood, to give us a more positive mood, and also very beneficial to our physical health. It helps with our heart, it helps with our lungs, and again, it helps kind of minimize that holiday stress, that holiday blues. Set a budget. Do not overextend yourself financially buying gifts. We know that this is the season for giving, but it doesn't mean that you have to give beyond your means. Don't throw away your family budget just to have a certain gift for someone. Don't allow yourself to take on extra financial stress that you know is too much for you. Sometimes the way that we can best handle that is to set a budget. Remember what you have to give daily for your lifestyle, for your family, the incoming bills that you have. And what you have extra is what you can dedicate to gift giving, to those holiday celebrations. And again, we say it's a season of giving, but it doesn't mean giving until you have nothing. Keep your own well being in mind. Yes, the holidays are technically the season of giving, but that does not mean that you should take yourself completely out of the equation. Instead, what I want to encourage you to do is add yourself to it. Give yourself some time away from the hype. How can we do that? Taking that short walk, engaging in some sunlight, even if it's for just half an hour a day. We know that getting active can help with its known anti anxiety, anti depression effect. Even a small amount of activity, like parking a little farther from the store, can do so much to improve your state of mind. It's important to be honest about your emotional state. If you feel like you are very overwhelmed, if you feel like you need some support and assistance, be honest with trusted friends and family. And if you feel the need, seek professional therapy and counseling if needed. Be realistic. You can't please everyone. You can't please everyone the rest of the year. So don't try to do it during this short time of the holidays. Remember that no is not only a word, it is a complete sentence. Saying no, whether to gatherings or to certain presents on someone's wish list that you just simply can't afford, can be one of the most challenging parts of the season. The word no, again, is a complete sentence, and you should not feel guilty. Your own mental and physical well being needs to come first, and that's okay. Take a step back, take a breath. Set reasonable goals and expectations. So in the picture, it says set SMART goals. So a SMART goal is something that is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. When you're setting goals, make sure that they are realistic goals, something that is achievable for you. Okay. Something that is specific to you. Okay. Whether it be making goals for holiday shopping, activities, cooking, entertaining, attending parties, holiday cards, set reasonable goals and expectations for yourself. Also, understand that your family is still your family, even during the holidays. Remember that you can only control yourself. So accepting that it's not our job to change our family members can help us avoid falling prey to imaginations of that perfect holiday gathering. So our own growth is the only thing that we can control. So when we're setting those reasonable goals, those reasonable expectations, understanding that some things are out of our control. Celebrate small wins. A lot of times we look at the big picture and that's all that we focus on. But I like to give the analogy of your favorite dish. So my favorite dish is lasagna. So when I see it come out on the pan, I am excited about it. I am just thinking about what it's going to taste like, how much I'm going to enjoy it. But what I have to understand is I cannot eat the entire pan of lasagna in one bite. What do I have to do? I have to take bite by bite, bite by bite. Sometimes that's how we have to tackle the holidays. Celebrate small wins. You set aside some extra money, you were able to get a gift on someone's wish list. Maybe not all, but a gift. That is a small win. You are able to enjoy a holiday gathering without feeling obligated to take a drink or feeling obligated to participate in an activity that you really don't feel like participating in. That is a small win. In order to appreciate the big picture, in order to have the goal of reaching that big picture, we have to celebrate the small wins within that picture. So I want you to take some time to think about what you can do to create the holiday season you want. Are your expectations realistic? Are they based on your childhood or an unrealistic view of what the holidays should be? For example, if you want the holidays to be less hectic, start by planning and preparing earlier. That means shopping, sending cards, visiting. Decide what you are going to do during the holidays and what you're not going to do, and then stick to that plan. Likewise, if you want your holidays to feel more intimate and meaningful, think about what that means to you. Have you done things in the past that brought about a feeling of closeness? Can you do something like that again? So again, I'm going to have two questions up. I just want you to take a moment to read the question, read the statement, process it, and think about what that means for you. The first statement, I want this holiday season to be less. And think about what that less is for you. Do you want it to be less stressful? Do you want it to be less hectic? Do you want it to be less costly? And as you're thinking about that question, think about how can I achieve that? How can I get this holiday season to be less stressful? A lot of times that means thinking about what is it about the holidays that's causing me stress? What is it about the holiday that makes it so hectic for me? What is it about the holiday that's making it more costly for me? The next question, I want this holiday season to be more. And again, think about what that more is for you. Do you want it to be more intimate? Do you want it to be more meaningful? And think about how can I achieve that? If I want this holiday season to be more meaningful, what does that mean for me? Does that mean that I have to go to every holiday gathering, watch every Hallmark movie? Or does that mean I want to spend more quality time with family? Think about what that more means for you. And think about ways that you can achieve that more. This is a big one for the holiday season, especially leading to holiday blues, the loss of a loved one. It can be a recent loss, it can be a loss that is not so recent. So the holidays can be especially challenging for those who have lost loved ones. Be sure to make space for your grief. That means to acknowledge it, accept that That is what it is. It is grief. It is your response to a loss. So that loss does not just have to be the loss of a loved one. It can be the loss of certain independence. It can be the loss of a relationship. It can be the loss of a job. And what we know about loss is how we experience that loss oftentimes is through grief. So accept that that is what it is so you can acknowledge it, address it, but not sit in it and have the negative coping responses. Again, be sure to make space for your grief, whatever it is you may be grieving. Consider changing up your traditions to make your feeling of loss more manageable. So, I'm not here to tell you that grief will magically go away during the holidays. I'm not here to tell you that every coping mechanism will work for your type of grief. What I am saying is think of ways that will make that loss more manageable during the holiday season. So, does that mean you spend more time with family? Does that mean you may have to schedule an appointment with a counselor? Does that mean that you have to spend less time buying things if that loss may have been lost of a job? You can find new ways to weave in memories of lost loved ones, especially during the holidays. You may have holiday traditions that they were including in. Now you have to be creative and think of new ways to include them. If that loss may have been the loss of a child, that does not mean that you won't feel bad during the holidays. You just have to manage it differently, include them in a different way. For some people, it's lighting a candle in their memory. For some people, it's sitting around the table or on the couch, remembering good memories of them. Honor the losses of the year. This slide is a very important slide. If you know that this time of year is typically hard for you, lean in on your friends and family. Lean into those who can provide that support to you. Sometimes in the midst of those feelings of holiday blues, it's hard to think about positive. It's hard to think about those who are actually there to assist. So what I usually encourage people to do is think of a self-care plan before the holidays. Have a list of people that you can reach out to. Talk to them about how you're feeling and let them help you set those boundaries and practice self-care. Yes, self-care even during the holidays, a time when we think about giving to others. Remember, you also have to give to yourself. You are also just as important. And self-care, a lot of people get frustrated when we bring up the word self-care because society, social media tends to equate self-care with having to spend money to do things. When we hear people say self-care, oh, I go and pay for a massage, but it becomes frustrating and even more stressful for those who may not have the time or money to go and schedule a massage. Self-care is really thinking about something that you enjoy, something that you can do to give yourself your time back. It can be spending 15 more minutes in a bath. It can be hitting the snooze for 5 more minutes on your alarm. Again, it can be taking a walk. It can be journaling. And a lot of times people don't equate this with self care, but it can be saying no. It can be leveling your expectations. Another important part of self care that sometimes we forget is delegation. For a lot of busy people, the idea of delegating a task can be scary. The idea of giving up something to someone else to do can be a sense of, it can cause a sense of anxiety. It can cause a sense of being overwhelmed. But I challenge you to change your thoughts about what delegation really is. When you delegate to somebody, you're not giving up anything per se, you're actually gaining something. And what are you gaining? Time. More time for you, more time to take care of another task, more time to take that walk, more time to take a step back and breathe. So, again, if you're feeling feelings of being overwhelmed, sadness, anxiety, depression, to where you're unable to function, reach out for help if you need it. Sometimes a friend, as supportive as they are, sometimes family, as supportive as they are unable to give you the support you need to manage stress, anxiety, depression, the holiday blues, when it is interfering with your daily function in life. While the holiday blues are common for many this time of year, remember 1 in 4, extreme anxiety or depression should not be ignored. If you find yourself staying in a bed longer than usual, your obligations, your responsibilities are not being met, you can't find joy at all. If you're experiencing severe emotional, mental, or psychological struggles, I encourage you to talk to your primary care provider, or if you have a counselor or a therapist, make an appointment to speak with them. Therapy, counseling, and medications are all useful tools to help manage mental health challenges, especially during the holidays. Because again, we know that holidays may exacerbate some of those symptoms of those disorders. However, if you find yourself experiencing mental health crisis, please call or text 988. It's available 24/7. You can also explore the 988 suicide crisis line via the web. So, again, with the holiday blues, we love the holidays. We anticipate the holidays. We get excited. We get excited about the smell of cinnamon spice. When that first Hallmark movie comes on, we get excited. We think about holiday cheer. We think about candy canes and our loved ones coming to visit. We think about Christmas music. We think about all the joy of the year, all bottled up into a few months. But for some of us, for a lot of us, that anticipation of the holiday brings on stress. That anticipation of the holidays make us remember that it may not be the same as what it used to be because we lost something. We're grieving. We may not have the funds. We feel obligated, stressed. We feel like we don't have enough time. So, again, how do we manage that holiday blues? Set realistic expectations, whatever that means for you. Be realistic. Put yourself first. What can you actually make happen? Celebrate those small wins. Remember, enjoying the holiday is the big picture, but we got to take little bites. Celebrate the moments, and then the next moment, and then celebrate the day. Celebrate those small wins. Make those goals more achievable. When we have achievable goals, then that stress tends to decrease. That anxiety tends to decrease. That feeling of sadness tends to decrease because we have reached a goal. Keep your own well being in mind. Understand your feelings. Know that your feelings are valid. Be honest about your feelings. Reach out to help if you need it. Set a budget. You do not have to spend a lot of money to enjoy the holidays. A lot of times, people may not remember the gifts that you bought, they may not remember the cards, but they remember your presence. They remember the warm feeling of that hug you gave them. They remember the memories. Spend some time in the sun. A lot of times holiday blues is associated with decreased sunlight. A lot of times we're not outside enough. That vitamin D, that sunlight is not only good for your physical health, it's also good for your mental and emotional health as well. Get physically active. No, that does not mean that you have to buy a gym membership and work out 30 hours a day. Doesn't mean that. Taking a short walk, parking farther in the parking lot so you have to walk. Getting physical, walking not only helps with your physical health, your heart health, your lung health, it also helps with your mental and emotional health. It allows you to think, process your emotions. It also helps you to remember. It helps you to make goals for yourself. Eat and drink alcohol in moderation. Remember, alcohol is a CNS depressant, which means it slows everything down. It brings things down, including your mood. So if you're already feeling down, don't drink. Find something else to cope. Reach out to a friend. When we're going to those holiday parties and we have alcohol and food in moderation, don't feel obligated just because it's there. Give it some thoughts when you're taking that walk and when you're remembering to put yourself first this holiday season. Think about, do I really need to do whatever it is? Do I really need to buy all the gifts on their wish list? Do I really need to attend every party? Do I really need to have the best Christmas decorations in my yard? Give it some thoughts. Get enough sleep and rest. During the holiday season, it seems like we're going, going, going. Soon as summer is over, we are going, going, going. Take some time to recharge. Take some time to re energize. Get enough sleep and rest. Take time for yourself, but don't isolate yourself. Isolation can bring on more thoughts of depression, more feelings of stress and anxiety, more feelings of loneliness. It's okay to take time for yourself, to take a moment, but don't isolate. Spend time with supportive, caring people. Don't worry about how things used to be. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy your small wins. Level your expectations. Remember, life is not a Hallmark movie. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak about such a very important topic as managing stress during the holidays. Um, I too have to remember these tips as well. Just the stress of working, the stress of being alive, the stress of losing a child. Every tip that I mentioned is something that I had to really take a deep dive in and think about. Holidays were hard. Holidays can be hard, but they can be manageable. With these tips and remembering, life is not a Hallmark movie, but it's just as beautiful. Thank you so much. And if anyone has any questions, I'm here to answer any of them.
Just a reminder, everyone do have access to the mic.
Dr. Rosalynn, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for the tips. I really like your suggestions about, you know, self-care does not have to cost money. And a lot of, well, I'll say I'm definitely going to take some of your suggestions. I think it's important that we remember that, especially during the holiday seasons. I think people forget the reason for the holiday season sometimes, and it should not be as stressful as it is for most people. So I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I know that was one of the biggest things for me. Self-care, self-care, self-care. And I would think I can't afford self-care. But mom, I had to shift my mindset and remember that self-care doesn't have to cost.
Jessica said no questions here, but she do say thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, since we don't have any further questions, Dr. Thyssen, I would like to personally thank you as well for a great presentation. We greatly appreciate you for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, I'm sure everyone has some form of stress in their lives that sometimes we don't even realize it, but you kind of hit a lot of points, and I'm sure they were helpful to every one of them that were with us today.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Just a friendly reminder of our upcoming events. Here at Families Helping Families, we have a mental health crisis planning webinar tomorrow from 11 to 12:30, presented by Ms. Katrina Bowden of Superior Counseling. We have Sensory Santa is December the 7th, which is Saturday at 9 a.m. at the North Sherwood Community Park. The Families Helping Families of Greater Baton Rouge's Toy Drive is seeking donations for new unwrapped toys for autism and other learning and developmental exceptionalities. The sensory toys are welcome. We're accepting donations through December the 14th. Please drop them off at Families Helping Families of Greater Baton Rouge's Center at 2356 Drusilla Lane, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 70809. The holiday open house is December 14th here at Families Helping Families of Greater Baton Rouge Center from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Safe Medication Practices for Life is December 16th at Westside Regional Library, which is 5416 Provine Place in Alexandria, Louisiana, at 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. The presenter is Ms. Claire Heatherwick, which is the Program Monitor of Central Louisiana Human Services District in Region 6. The Parents and Caregivers monthly virtual networking meeting will be held December 17th from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. The Sunshine Social, the theme is Winter Wonderland Ball, which will be December 20th at the Milton J. Womack Park Ballroom at 6201 Florida Boulevard in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Please remember to save the date on April 26, 2025 for the Active for Autism 5K Run and Walk and Fun Fest 2025 at the Pennington Biomedical Center at 6400 Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Please continue to check your email, our Facebook, Instagram pages for upcoming events, workshops, conference participation opportunities as well. Also, there is a survey at the end of the webinar. Please take a moment to answer a few questions. We greatly appreciate your feedback. The short survey only takes a few minutes to fill out. Thank you all again for attending today's event. It has been a pleasure and honor to have you present. A certificate of attendance will be granted to all participants. We do hope to see you at our next training. And thank you all and have a wonderful day.
And Dr. Thyssen, I did leave a message to all audience. And so also the message to you was, thank you so much for this presentation. It was greatly needed for this holiday. And I pray during potential stress that you and everyone here find peace and grace.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.